Alright, so here's a question that came up on my Twitter feed. It says, given the graph of f of x, sketch the graph of the derivative on the same set of axes. So I'm basically asked to just sketch the derivative function for this given function. So if I look at the interval from -5 to 3, every tangent line that I can draw to that part of the function is going to have a slope of 2. So I know that the derivative function is equal to 2 for all of those values. Looks like the right-hand derivative at -3 is equal to 0. So I'm going to start the next piece at 0, but then the parabola, or at least it looks like a parabola, it looks like it has the shape of -x squared. So that means the derivative would have the shape of -2x. So what I'm going to do for this piece is, starting at -3, I'm going to have a slope of -2, and I'm going to draw that piece from the interval from -3 to -1. So again, the rationale there is it kind of looks like x squared, and so the derivative of -x squared is -2x. So again, I'm more interested in the slope of that piece, because obviously it has shifts that move it over, and so that's why I'm drawing a graph here that has a slope of -2. So just try to think of, -x squared, which is normally here. It's being moved over to this spot here, and so the derivative would move over as well. Okay, the next piece then is from -1 to 2. If I look at that piece of the function, I see that its slope is 0 everywhere, so the derivative function is going to be 0 for those x values, -1 to 2. And then finally, this is the part of the question that came up in the Twitter feed, was that, what does the derivative look like from 2 to 5? So all I can really gather from this is that right now the slope is pretty negative. In fact, it looks like it's a slope of about, I'm going to guess and say -3. So I'm going to start this at -3, or at least in that neighborhood. And then if I move to the right on that interval, it looks like the slopes are still negative, but not as negative. In fact, it looks like at that last point here, the tangent line at 5, the left-hand derivative, if you will, it looks like it's got a real small slope there, small negative slope. So that means that this piece is going to look something like this. So again, you can see that the derivative is negative for that entire interval because all of these tangent line slopes are negative, but it starts out very negative, so somewhere down here at -3 again was my guess, and then as I move to the right on x, it's getting less and less negative, so it's getting closer and closer to the axis, but it's not quite leveled off to 0, so I've kept it underneath the axis. So that's about as good as an estimate as I can get. So I hope that answers the question, and have a good day.